So, this is episode 4 of Not Even Wrong.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. It's been a whole 6 months or so.
Like
yeah. The world's gone to hell in our absence.
Yeah.
So we're here to set it right again.
Yeah.
And as usual, we're talking about something fairly controversial.
Yeah, which I think it's less controversial.
Less controversial than some of the other stuff we talked about. That's true. But still, I think, pretty controversial. And what is it exactly, Luke, that we're talking about?
So we're talking about the famous Nazi punch video.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Spencer, the white nationalist, punched on live TV, being interviewed. And we're sort of talking about the reaction to this.
The reaction to this, and whether it's appropriate, so the reaction has been, there's been, thousands of remixes of the video. It's been discussed, at great length on social media.
Yeah, I think there's been celebrated even.
Yeah, at the very least, it's been tolerated, but I think it crossed over into celebration. There's a very celebratory mood around it, an almost or slightly sadistic celebration of things.
I think that the way video's been shared of it and stuff is like, hey, look at this.
Yeah, look at this! Isn't this great? Watch this! Whack! Cool. So there's this quite sadistic pleasure being taken from this video. So one question that we were interested in asking about this is why in this case do we tolerate, maybe even celebrate the punch, right?
Yeah.
So why didn't this person go up and say, hey, I disagree with you, and here's my argument, here's my evidence.
Here's why you're wrong.
Here's why you're wrong, Mr. Nazi. Here's why you're wrong. Here's facts. Facts. There's a camera there. You can challenge him. Why instead go up and punch him? And more importantly, why are we celebrating this punch? Why aren't we saying, no, you shouldn't have punched him. That's violent. That's impulsive, childish. You should have given him arguments. You should have been a rational human being, right? Yeah. Why are we so?
There's an exception here for Nazis.
Yes, and I guess right-wing types, in general, if this had been the other way around, if the fascist had punched the anti-fascist in front of a camera, we wouldn't be celebrating it, right? We'd be condemning it, and we say no, it's just proof that they're brutal and arrogant and childish and impulsive and not rational. They're not using argument; they're just using violence, right? So why are we using violence and not argument in this case and getting away with it?
Yeah.
Right?
So I think to illustrate this, there's sort of another exception we make for fascism, and that's no platforming.
Yeah.
So we kind of, it's generally not, people will try and stop Nazis speaking at events or speaking on TV and this sort of thing.
Universities as well, especially. Yeah, no Nazis on campus. But we don't no platform the anti-fascists, right? We no platform the fascists. So here's the thing. No platforming, I think, is usually bad, right? Superficially, it seems like it should be bad.
Yeah.
Because it's against freedom of speech, it's against the intellectual freedom and diversity, especially on a university campus.
Yeah, it should be about freedom of ideas and freedom of expression. Exactly.
So initially it seems quite contradictory to no platform somebody, especially on a university, and it certainly seems like morality would, because of the principle of freedom of speech, be against no platforming, right? So the theory we've kind of got is that it's not the fact that that you disagree with the fascists that makes you no platformer, right? It's not just as in it's not just an epistemic disagreement. It's not just that you think their beliefs are false.
I mean, there's lots of other people, I'm sure people disagree with, but you don't argue that they shouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah.
Come and have a debate.
You don't no platform them. You argue against them, intellectually. You publish papers refuting their views. You give evidence to the contrary. That kind of thing, right? You don't no platform them. So there's an exception here, as you said. But it seems to be like, okay, so it's not about just the disagreement, because we don't always no platform someone we disagree with them. It's more to do with preventing rabble rousing, right?
Yeah, so I think they don't, a Nazi doesn't come to a debate to try and argue a point and win an argument. They're here to rouse a rabble.
Yeah, they don't come with evidence, right? They don't come with facts and, references, experts. They come with rhetoric, bile, enthusiasm, passion. They're not there to participate in the intellectual community and just disagree with you and argue their case. If they were, I'd be happy to let them on the campus. Let them put forth their controversial opinions. Let's debate them. It's just good critical thinking, right? It's just good freedom of speech. But they don't come to do that. They come to rouse a rabble. And this rabble that they rouse can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Right?
Can lead to things such as Brexit.
Such as Brexit, yeah.
The election of Donald Trump.
Yeah, I still can't quite believe it when I hear it or say it. The election of Donald Trump as the most powerful man in the world. Yeah, I think Nigel Farage and Donald Trump are good examples of rabble rousers. If we look at the Brexit debate, Farage didn't come.
I think there is a component of rational argument in the Brexit.
Yes.
But there's also an irrational rabble rousing component as well.
Yeah, or like an irrational rabble rousing. It's not about being rational, irrational, or right or wrong. It's just about inspiring.
It's just like the quality of the debate as well wasn't like both sides were just trying to. It wasn't like a intellectual argument, right? It was about
that's true because the Remain camp, the Remain camp were more about staying together, unity. Ideas, very abstract ideas, not just giving people the facts, right? Giving people the figures, giving people the economic predictions.
I think there was some of that, but there was also the other side were sort of ignoring that and trying to raise a rabble as well.
Yeah. There was the talking
about
not
the whole side, but there was a small intellectual Brexit part.
A minimally intellectual Brexit, let's call it that.
Yeah.
A lot of it was rabble rousing, just vague ideas about sovereignty and freedom and whatever, designed to rouse the spirit rather than persuade the mind. Right. And Trump uses hatred, paranoia about foreigners and other cultures to become president. So rabble rousing, dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that gives people a moral reason rather than a purely what we might think of as epistemic reason to no platform fascists, right? It's not what they say. It's not the content of their views, which we're perfectly happy to debate. Their views have almost no content. They're just there to provoke. And so they can, rouse rabbles, and that can have dire consequences, we've seen. So do you think, Luke, that there's any comparison here between the rabble, between the no platforming, and the punching of Nazis?
Yeah, so I think when if somebody's already on a platform, you can't. There's not the option to no platform in the traditional sense, but I think punching them in the face is the closest option there is.
I think it's important to bear in mind that the reason why no platforming is preferable, like on university campuses, to just going up and arguing with them, like letting them on the campus and argue against them, is because argument, as we said, is incidental to rabble rousing. It's not an intellectual debate. So you can't really beat rabble rousing with argument. All you can do is try to prevent it, right? All you can do is no platform it. So you can't go up to the white supremacist, right? You can't go up to, what's this guy? Richard Spencer, sorry. And say, in front of the camera, here's my evidence against your view. You can't do that. It won't work. And he's already on a platform. So what can you do, Luke?
Yeah. What can you do?
You punch him in the face. You shut him up, basically, to stop the rabble rousing.
Yeah, I think that's it's more about shutting him up, right?
Yes, it's stopping him. Yeah. Stopping what's already started.
Yeah.
So that might be a reasonable defense, a plausible defense of Nazi punching, right? It's a kind of last resort, no platforming, where rational argument wouldn't work. By the same logic, I guess you can punch Trump. You can probably punch... Farage. Maybe punch Farage. It's a bit late now, but maybe retrospectively give him one. But
only when he's on TV.
Only when he's on TV, Luke. Exactly. Because when he's on a platform, a punch in the face is a way to no platform. Otherwise, it's just anger, childish impulsiveness, irrationality. So I guess the lesson is, you can punch a Nazi in the face if he's in front of a camera.